Oh, hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Michael Boy. I'm here with Read, Remember, Repeat, and we just want to let you guys know, we could be doing something selfish, things for ourselves, right? But we started a charity, and this is very unselfish on our part because what we want to do is give back to the kids, the youth, the orphanage, the homeless, the people that don't have those new ideas because they're stuck in a revolving door. So what we want you guys to do is definitely reach out to us. This is the link right here. Help us save a life. Click the link in bio. Read, remember, repeat. Welcome, gang. Read, remember, repeat. Read, remember, repeat. Read, remember, repeat. How's everybody doing today? I hope you're having an amazing day. We are back with another episode of Outwitting the Devil, and this is episode 9. So go back, tap into episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and get the sauce, you know what I mean? Grab it, grasp it, wrap your mind around it. This is Outwitting the Devil, and this is a book that shows you that fear is a tool. It's a man-made devil. Now, we left off yesterday. It was getting real good. So the lights done turned off on me and all that at night, but I'm excited to read this to y'all today, so let's go. Your Majesty, will you explain how you gain this control over human beings? Your Majesty, he's talking to the devil. The devil wants to be addressed as Your Majesty. Your Majesty, will you explain how you gain this control over human beings? The story is too long to be told in a few words. It began over 1 million years ago when the first man began to think. Up to that time, I had control over all mankind, but enemies of mine discovered the power of positive thought, placed it in the minds of men, and then began a battle on my part to remain in control. So far, I have done quite well by myself, having lost only 2% of the people to the opposition. Question, I take it from your answer that men who think are your enemies, is that right? A, it is not right, but it is correct. Question, tell me something more about the world in which you live. I live wherever I choose. Time and space do not exist for me. I am a force best described to you as energy. My favorite physical dwelling place, as I have told you, is the minds of the earthbound. I control a part of the brain space of every human being. The amount of space I occupy in each individual's minds depends upon how little and what sort of thinking that person does. As I have told you, I cannot entirely control any person who thinks. Question. You speak of your opposition. What do you mean by that? My opponent controls all the positive forces of the world, such as love, faith, hope, and optimism. My opponent also controls the positive factors of all natural laws throughout the universe, the forces which keep the earth and the planets and all the stars balanced in their courses. But their forces are meek in comparison with those which operate in the human mind under my control. You see, I do not seek to control stars and planets. I prefer the control of human minds. Question, where did you acquire your power, and by what means do you add to it? I add to my power by appropriating the mind power of the earthbound as they come through the gate at the time of death. 98 out of 100 who come back to my plane from the earth plane are taken over by me, and their mind power is added to my being. I get all who come over with any form of fear. You see, I am constantly at work preparing the minds of people before death, so I can appropriate them when they come back to my plane. Question, will you tell me how you go about your job of preparing human minds so you can control them? Answer, I have countless ways of gaining control of human minds. While they are still on the earth plane, my greatest weapon is poverty. I deliberately discourage people from accumulating material wealth because poverty discourages men from thinking and makes them easy prey for me. My best friend is ill health, and unhealthy body discourages thinking. Then I have countless thousands of workers on earth who aid me in gaining control of human minds. I have these agents placed in every calling. They represent every race and creed, every religion. Who are your greatest enemies on earth, Your Majesty? All who inspire people to think and act on their own initiative are my enemies. Such men as Socrates, Confucius, Voltaire, Emerson, Thomas Paine, and Abraham Lincoln, and you are not doing me any good either. Question: is it true that you use men who have great wealth? A. As I have already told you, poverty is always my friend because it discourages independence, thought, and encourages fear in the minds of men. Some wealthy men serve my cause, while others do me great damage. Depending upon how the wealth is used, the great Rockefeller fortune, for example, is one of my worst enemies. Question: that is interesting, Your Majesty. Will you tell me why you fear the Rockefeller fortune more than others? The Rockefeller money is being used to isolate and conquer diseases of the physical body in all parts of the world. Disease has always been one of my most effective weapons. The fear of ill health is second only to the fear of poverty. The Rockefeller money is uncovering new secrets of nature in 100 different directions, all of which are designed to help men take and keep possession of their minds. It is encouraging new and better methods of feeding, clothing, and housing people. It is wiping out the slums in the large cities, the places where my favorite allies are found. It is financing campaigns for better government and helping to wipe out dishonesty in politics. It is helping to set higher standards in business practice and encouraging businessmen to conduct business by the golden rule. And that is not doing my cause any good. Question: what about these boys and girls who are said to be on the road to hell? Are you in control of them? Well, I can answer that question only with yes and no. I have corrupted the minds of the young by teaching them to drink and smoke, but they have me baffled through their tendency to think for themselves. Family, source time. We'll be right back with this amazing read. Let's get it.
Three type of people in this world. It's poor people, it's rich people, and it's wealthy people. The poor people, all they do is talk about money, where my money and I need my money, I got to get my money. The rich people, all they talk about is things. So they talk about my car, my house, and these type of things. The wealthy people talk about ideas. Three type of people in this world. It's poor people, it's rich people, and it's wealthy people. The poor people, all they do is talk about money, where my money and I need my money, I got to get my money. The rich people, all they talk about is things. So they talk about my car, my house, and these type of things. The wealthy people talk about ideas.
And we are back, gang. We jumping straight into the book, so I don't want y'all to even think about anything else but this interview with the devil. Let's go. Question: you say you have corrupted the minds of the young people with liquor and cigarettes. I can understand how liquor might destroy the power of independent thought, but do not see what cigarettes have to do with helping your cause. You may not know it, but cigarettes break down the power of persistence. They destroy the power of endurance. They destroy the ability to concentrate. They deaden and undermine the imaginative faculty and help in other ways to keep people from using their minds most effectively. Do you know I have millions of people, young and old, of both sexes, who smoke 2 packages of cigarettes a day? That means I have millions of people who are gradually destroying their power of resistance. One day, I shall add to their habit of cigarette smoking other thought-destroying habits, until I shall have gained control of their minds. Habits come in pairs, triplets and quadruplets. Any habit which weakens one's will power invites a flock of its relatives to move in and take possession of the mind. The cigarette habit not only lowers the power of resistance and discourages persistence, but it invites looseness in other human relationships. Question: I never thought that cigarettes were a tool of destruction, Your Majesty, but your explanation throws a different light on the subject. How many converts to the habit do you now claim? I'm proud of my record. Millions are now victims, and the number is increasing daily. Soon I shall have most of the world indulging in the habit. In thousands of families, I now have followers of the habit, including every member of the family. Very young boys and girls are beginning to take up the habit. They are learning how to smoke by observing their parents and older brothers and sisters. Question: which do you consider to be your greater tool for gaining control of human minds, cigarettes or liquor? Without hesitation, I would say cigarettes. Once I get a young person to join my 2 packages a day club, I have no trouble in inducing that person to take on the habit of liquor, overindulge of sex, and all other related habits which destroy independence of thought and action. Your Majesty, when I began this interview, I had you all wrong. I thought you were a fraud and a fake, but I see now that you are quite real and very powerful. Your apology is accepted, but you need not have bothered. Millions of people have questioned my power, and I got most of them at the gate as they came over. I ask no person to believe in me. I prefer that people fear me. I am no beggar. I take that I want by cleverness and force. Begging people to believe is the business of my opposition, not mine. Question. Your Majesty will please pardon my rudeness, but I would not be able to look myself in the face again if I did not tell you here and now that you are the damnedest fiend ever to be turned loose on innocent people. I always had the wrong conception of you. I thought you were kind enough to let people alone while they were living, that you merely tortured their souls after death. Now I learn from your own brazen confession that you destroyed their right to freedom of thought and caused them to go through a living hell on earth. What do you have to say to that? I get what I want by exercising self-control. It is not so good for my own business, but I suggest you emulate me instead of criticizing me. You call yourself a thinker, and you are. Otherwise, you would never have forced this interview on me. But you will never be the sort of thinker that frightens me unless you gain and exercise greater control over your own emotions. Question. Let us get away from personalities. I came here to learn more about you, not to discuss myself. Please go ahead and tell me of the many tricks you have devised for gaining control of the human mind. What is your most powerful weapon just now? That is a difficult question to answer. I have so many devices for entering human minds and controlling them that it is difficult to say which are the most powerful. Right at the moment, I am trying to bring about another world war. My friends here in Washington are helping me to involve America in the war. If I can start the world to killing on a wholesale basis, I shall be able to put into operation my favorite device for mind control. It is what you may call mass fear. I used this device about the other world war in 1914. I used it to bring about the economic depression in 1929. And if my opposition had not double-crossed me, I would now be in the possession of every man, woman, and child in the world. You can see for yourself how near I came to world domination, the thing I have been struggling to attain for thousands of years. Question. Yes, I see your point. Who wouldn't? You are a very ingenious manipulator of the minds of people. Is your devilish business carried on only through people of high position and great influence? Oh no, I use the minds of people in all walks of life. As a matter of fact, I prefer the type of person who makes no pretense of thinking. I can manipulate that sort of person without difficulty. I cannot control 98% of the people of the world if all people were skilled in thinking for themselves. Question. I am interested in the welfare of those people whom you claim to control. Therefore, I wish you to tell me all of the tricks by which you enter and control their minds. I want a complete confession from you, so begin with your cleverest trick. This is suicide. You are forcing on me, but I am helpless. So settle down, and I will place in your hands the weapon by which millions of your fellow earthbound will defend themselves against me. Drifting with the devil. Family, we're going to end that right there. Read, remember, repeat. See y'all tonight. Let's go.